Hey guys, it's Mrs. C again. I'm not growling, it's my dog because the fire whistles are going off. But anyway, I'm back again with another edition of our previews for things that we will do when we get back. And these are things that you can watch not only my pathetic videos, but you can also watch the videos I've posted online to help you learn and work on the IXL skills. And I fully expect you to be trying your best on them. Remember, I can see who's logging on and I can see who's done work and what skills you've been working on and how many questions and all that kind of fun stuff, even here from home. Okay, so that being said, yesterday we had posted videos about the area of rectangles and also the area of parallelograms. And we're going to take that knowledge one step farther and do the area of triangles. So I want you to remember, if I'm going to find the area of a rectangle, I'm going to use the formula area equals length times width. I also want you to remember that if I'm going to do a parallelogram, that I'm going to use the formula area equals base times height. And this is the one we really need to know, because that's going to help us with our triangles today. So the first thing I want you to realize, that if I am super fancy, I can take any rectangle, and by drawing a line, I have now created two triangles that are stuck together. I can do the same thing with a parallelogram. I can draw a line, and then I have two triangles stuck together. So if I want to find the area of a triangle, if I want to find an area of just half of my rectangle, or just half of my parallelogram, I need to know how to do this first. So that's why I'm hoping you're practicing. So I'm going to start with a triangle. Let me move my paper up a little bit. And I'm going to start with a right triangle. And I know that this is supposed to be a right triangle because there's that little square in the edge, right? And there are two formulas that you're going to see for the area of the triangle. I'm going to use one more than the other because it makes sense for us right now. You could either say that it is area equals the base times the height divided by 2, because again, if I wanted to take a parallelogram and cut it in half, and I wanted to just find half of it, I would take the base times the height, and I would just divide it by 2 because I'm finding half of it. Or you will see this one much more commonly, area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. And we've talked in class when we were doing the equations that multiplying something by half is the same as dividing it by 2. I prefer to use this one with you right now because it makes more sense for what we're working on, and we're not together in a big setting, and so I'm going to use this one a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to talk about, how do I find the area of this triangle? So if I gave you some dimensions and I said, all right, the height of this triangle, remember the height is talking about the shortest distance from bottom to top. I talked about that in the parallelogram video. And the bottom is 10 inches. I'm going to do the same thing that I've always done. I'm going to take my formula. In this case, I'm going to use this one. And that's the one I'm encouraging you to use because it makes sense for us right now. And plug in the numbers that I know. I don't know the area at the moment, okay? So I'm going to leave the A. I do know the base. Remember, the base intersects with the height, so that is the bottom, usually. And the base is 10 times the height, which is 12. And I've got to divide the whole thing by 2, okay? So we just work it out. And we are going to work order of operations, right? Left to right, top to bottom. So I have multiplication and division, so I'm going to start with my multiplication because it's on top. If I go 10 times 12, I know that is 120. So I have area is equal to 120 divided by 2, okay? And then I just have to get out my calculator, and by the way, you are supposed to be using the calculator through all of this. 120 divided by 2, I know the area equals 60 inches. And remember, I'm still, when I find area, finding the dimensions in two different directions. So I need to add that little 2 at the end, that it is squared. Or I could say that the area is equal to 60 square inches. Okay? Now that's a right triangle. We're going to do the same thing with a different type of triangle. Okay? So I got to move some paper around here. And if I take a triangle like this, okay? Again, the height is the shortest distance from the top to the bottom. We do not want to get tricked if they give us a side measurement. That's just extra information. They're trying to trick you. We're going to take just the top to the bottom, and then remember that the base intersects with the bottom. So if I have this triangle, for instance, and I am saying that the height is 11 inches and my base is 13 inches, I can again find my area. So I'm going to go area is equal to the base times the height divided by 2. Okay? Then I'm going to plug in the numbers that I know. I don't know the area yet. Area equals base, which is 13, times the height, which is 11, divide all that by 2. Okay? Now I'm going to do the work. I'm going to use my calculator. I know that area equals 143. I'm using my 11's times tables trick there to help me out. Divided by 2. And that's the thing that kids forget to do most often, is to go back and divide that by 2. We don't want an area of a parallelogram. We want just a triangle, which is half the parallelogram. So area is equal to, I go back in my calculator, 143 divided by 2. I get 71.5. Now, I got a decimal. Is that okay? Perfectly fine. I don't have to worry about decimals or fractions because our calculator will do the work. As long as we're putting in the right numbers, we will get the right answers. But remember, just like when we do the area of rectangles and parallelograms, I need the units on the end. So I know that in my problem, I had inches. And so I'm going to put inches. And again, it is 2 dimensions that I'm measuring, so I need that little squared at the end. Now I know this video is a little lengthy, so I'm going to make another one on how to find the side length when they do give us the area, and I will keep you posted. Please make sure that you are checking in with the Weebly and Google Classroom. Weebly is much easier to navigate, so that should be your first resource. Google Classroom, there's things that we can only do on Google Classroom, and there's things we can only do on Weebly, so I'd ask that you be patient and check both of them, but definitely Weebly should be your #1 source. All right, guys, I'll be back later. Have a great day. Washy, washy, happy, happy, healthy, healthy.